Good morning, All Saints family. I'm Father Travis Crotty, the parochial vicar here at All Saints Parish in the Mars and the chaplain at Galen Catholic. And we're happy to have these little videos to have some updates and maybe a little bit of learning, a little catechesis happening for the parish. So keep tuning in. We'll see what we can learn together. Next week is Ash Wednesday. And if you've looked in the bulletin or if you've heard around, a lot of dioceses in the United States will be distributing ashes a little bit differently this year. I just wanted to talk a little bit about that and maybe explain why and how we can receive a lot from that experience of Ash Wednesday this year, and a little bit about Lent in general. So we are so used to getting the ash with the smudgy little cross mark on our forehead, indistinguishable cross sometimes, depending where you go, which priest you get a nice ash cross. But this year, because of COVID, we'll be receiving it sprinkled on the top of our head. Well, this might seem crazy and everybody's jaw might hit the floor. How would we change this tradition? It turns out that more countries in the world distribute ashes on the top of their head, and it's really only in the United States and some countries in North America that do it on our forehead. But why is that? It's because putting ashes on your head is an ancient sign and symbol of penance and fasting. So in the Old Testament, we see that somebody would put on sackcloth, rough burlap sack, and ashes on their head in the midst of suffering, grief, or in reparation for their sin, because the outward sign shows the interior disposition of your heart, right? That if you're wearing this rough sack and you're pouring ashes on your head, that you're so distraught because of grief of the death of someone who's died, or because of your own sins and the need for repentance. That is the original meaning and symbol of the sign of ashes we use on Ash Wednesday. Those ashes that we get are often burned from the palms of the previous Palm Sunday. A good way to use those palms up, but also a connection to Jesus's victorious entrance into Jerusalem and the beginning of Lent. We start Lent with this beautiful tradition of Ash Wednesday in the Roman Catholic Church. It's one of the most well-attended masses of the year. And it turns out it's not even a holy day of obligation, but it's a beautiful opportunity for us to recognize that we are sinful, that we are frailed humanity, and that we need Jesus' salvation, that we need the salvation that comes from Jesus on the cross. And this outward sign of receiving ashes and hearing those words, "Remember you are dust, and to dust you shall return," that kickstarts our entrance into the preparation of Lent. If you've never heard what Lent means before, it might just seem kind of random. It just means spring. It comes from an Old English word. The time when the world around us changes for spring, but also when our hearts prepare to celebrate the most important mystery of the church year, Jesus' paschal mystery, his death, resurrection, and ascension into heaven. That's what we celebrate and prepare for during Lent. While it might be different this year, we're still so excited to celebrate together in the church. So, if you saw it in the bulletin, if you saw it online, just to reiterate the times and which of those times will be masses and which will be liturgy of the word with ashes distributed. On Ash Wednesday, next week, there'll be a liturgy of the word at 6:30 a.m. with ashes. Then there'll be the normal mass at 8:45 with ashes. There'll be a noon mass with ashes, and a 6 p.m. liturgy of the word also with ashes, and then finally a 7 p.m. mass in Spanish. 6:30, 8:45, noon, 6 p.m., and 7 p.m., all times to come to enter into the mystery of Jesus' passion, death, and resurrection. So look forward to seeing all of you in the church, look forward to meeting you here in this way as well, and know that I'll be praying for you. Ask that you pray for me as well.